welcome to How I Would Book. This is the series where I show how I would book an upcoming pay-per-view, based on how WWE has presented the storylines to us so far. Today, we will be looking into how I would book Royal Rumble 2021. No kidding, this year's Rumble is one of the least predictable ones in years, as I honestly have no idea who should win the Rumble matches. Even except the Rumble matches, a bunch of great matches are set up for Royal Rumble. Goldberg vs McIntyre and Reigns vs Owens are matches that should deliver. But what other matches should take place here? Alright, let's begin. So, the night should start off with the Women's Rumble match, and I am going to name 7 potential women, 6 who could win, what would happen if they win, but also, 1 who I would have win. Honorable mentions: Io Shirai, Liv Morgan and Peyton Royce. So, at number 7, we have Charlotte Flair. I don't think she should win, but this could set up Asuka vs Charlotte for the Raw title at WrestleMania. Number 6 is the Shayna Alexa Bliss, who is another person who could win, but really shouldn't. She did pin Asuka clean last Raw, so it could happen. However, like we saw with The Fiend, these sorts of characters are ruined when they win championship. If she does win though, she might win the title, and if The Fiend wins the WWE title too, they could make a weird goth power couple. Next at number 5, we have Bayley. Now we are getting into people who I think could win and should win. Bayley can win and challenge Sasha at WrestleMania, putting an end to their rivalry, at least for now. Following this, we have number 4, Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley's 2020 hasn't been great as she fell from stardom as she lost her NXT title to Charlotte. This win could make her into a superstar again, and she could challenge either champs at WrestleMania. Next up, number 3 is Ronda Rousey. As I have heard, her contract is set to end in a few months, so she could win here and have a match at WrestleMania. Now, as of her opponent, I think Asuka and Banks could be good, but the best opponent would be Shayna Baszler, who could win the title at Fastlane or something. Speaking of the Queen of Spades, Baszler is my number 2 pick for winning the Rumble. It's amazing and sad that she hasn't won a women's single title yet, so she might face either champ at WrestleMania, but I would prefer Baszler vs Banks. But finally, I need to talk about who I would have win the Women's Rumble. It is none other than Bianca Belair. Okay, so, let me just say this. Sasha Banks vs Bianca Belair for the SmackDown Women's Championship at the main event of the first night of WrestleMania 37. Do I need to say more? No? Good. After this, we have Big E vs Sami Zayn vs Apollo Crews for the Intercontinental Championship. Here, I would have Apollo win the title by pinning Zayn after the Bloodline distracted the other 2 wrestlers. This opens up Big E for something bigger later. The SmackDown Women's title is on the line next as Sasha Banks takes on Carmella. This should be the end of their feud, as Sasha makes Carmella tap out to retain her title. Next up is the WWE Championship match between Drew McIntyre and Goldberg. Bell rings. Claymore. 1, 2, 3. Bell rings. Drew retains. The tag team champs Alexander and Benjamin defend their Raw tag titles against Lucha House Party next. In the match, I would have Alexander almost cost them the title as he got too cocky, but in the end, they somehow retain. After this match, the other Hurt Business member Bobby Lashley defending his title against Riddle. Honestly, this match could go both way. But, I would have Lashley retain, although I wouldn't mind Riddle winning. Next up, Charlotte and Asuka vs Lacey Evans and Peyton Royce for the Women's Tag Team Championship. I would have Evans and Royce win here, due to a distraction by Ric Flair. Up next, Roman Reigns vs Kevin Owens for the Universal Championship in a last man standing match. With the help of new Bloodline member Apollo Crews, Roman retains the title. The second last match of the night is the Dirty Dogs vs Street Profits for a rematch for the SmackDown Tag Team Championship. The Dirty Dogs retain. That's it. And finally, the Men's Rumble match. Again, I will name 7 people who could win, and who I would have win. Honorable mention, John Cena, The Fiend and Edge. At number 7, we have Keith Lee. The Glorious could win and challenge McIntyre for the title at WrestleMania. Next up, number 6, Shinsuke Nakamura. After being screwed out of the number 1 contenders match, Nakamura could win and challenge Reigns at WrestleMania, or he could challenge and win the WWE Championship off of McIntyre. Bobby Lashley is at number 5, as he is one of the only person from Raw who I can see win the Rumble. He could lose his match against Riddle, but win the Rumble and hence the WWE Championship later at WrestleMania by defeating McIntyre. Up next at number 4 is Cesaro. Cesaro got 2 clean wins against Bryan and Ziggler, so he definitely has some momentum on his side, as he maybe could win his first World Championship in 2021. At number 3 is Brock Lesnar. The Beast could return and win the Rumble and set up a WrestleMania 36 rematch, or he could challenge his Advocate's new client, Roman Reigns. Daniel Bryan, my number 2 pick, is another name who could win the Rumble, as he might be set to challenge Reigns at WrestleMania. He does deserve a Rumble win, as he showed but didn't win in 2014 and 2015 Rumble. But maybe one guy deserves to win the Rumble more than Bryan, as my pick to win the Rumble would be Big E. After being screwed out of his Medcard title earlier the night, he could go after the Big Blue title as he faces Reigns at WrestleMania. And that is it. That is how I would book Royal Rumble 2021. Let me know if you enjoyed it and what to book next in the comment section below. Be sure to like, share and subscribe, that will help out the channel a lot. Thanks again, see you in the next one.